Welcome back to Summarito. This is a visual guide to Chapter 2 of Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, titled, Why Teach Financial Literacy? It's the lesson that answers a question most of us are never taught in school: what actually makes someone wealthy? Rich Dad's starting point is blunt. It's not how much money you make that matters, he says, it's how much money you keep, and how many generations you keep it for. Plenty of people earn a great income and still end up broke, because money flows in and then rushes straight back out. Financial literacy is simply what lets you hold on to your money and grow it. That leads to what Rich Dad calls rule number 1, and he insists it's the only rule you really need to get started. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability, and then buy assets. It sounds almost too simple. But he argues that this single idea, properly understood, is what separates the wealthy from everyone else. Rich people acquire assets. The poor and middle class acquire liabilities that they only think are assets. So what's the difference? Rich Dad strips away the complicated accounting and gives a definition a child can use. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. That's it. Notice that this is about the direction the cash flows, not about how nice or expensive something is. If it feeds you, it's an asset. If it drains you, it's a liability. Now watch how money actually moves for different people. For someone who is poor, the pattern is simple. Income comes in from a job, and every bit of it flows straight back out to expenses, rent, food, and bills. Nothing is left over, and nothing is building. The moment the paychecks stop, so does everything else. The middle class looks more successful, but Rich Dad says the pattern is actually a trap. As their income rises, they take on liabilities they've been taught to call assets: a bigger mortgage, car loans, and credit card balances. Now their income flows out not just to expenses, but to debts as well. The more they earn, the more they owe, and they end up running on a treadmill. It's the rat race, just dressed up in a nicer house. The wealthy build a completely different pattern. They spend their effort acquiring real assets, things like businesses, rental property, stocks, and royalties, that generate income on their own. That income then goes on to buy even more assets. Their asset column grows and feeds itself, while they keep their liabilities and expenses low. Money increasingly works for them, which is the lesson from Chapter 1, now shown clearly in the numbers. This is where Rich Dad makes his most controversial claim. Your home, he argues, is usually a liability rather than an asset, because month after month it takes money out of your pocket through the mortgage, the taxes, insurance, and upkeep. It's worth saying that many financial experts push back on this, since a home can build equity and rise in value over time. But Rich Dad's deeper point still holds. Don't simply assume something is an asset. Ask which way the cash actually flows. This is what financial literacy really means to Rich Dad. It isn't about big words or complex math. It's the ability to look at your own numbers and read the story they tell, to see, honestly, whether your money is flowing into things that feed you or into things that drain you. Once you can read that pattern, you can begin to change it. Rich Dad also borrows a powerful definition of wealth from the inventor Buckminster Fuller. Wealth, in this view, isn't a pile of money. It's measured in time. Specifically, how many days could you keep living at your current standard if you stopped working today, paying for everything purely from the income your assets produce? If your assets could cover you for, say, a whole year without a job, that is real wealth. And the goal is to push that number higher and higher. So here are the key takeaways from Chapter 2. First, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. Second, the only rule you need to start is to know assets from liabilities and to buy assets. Third, an asset puts money in your pocket while a liability takes it out, so always follow the direction of the cash. And fourth, true wealth is measured in time, How long your assets could support you without a paycheck. That's Chapter 2 of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Master this one idea: buy assets, not liabilities, and you've built the foundation that everything else in the book rests on. Thanks for watching Summarito. If this helped, subscribe for the next chapter.